There are several other ways that you can go about combining different images. Photoshop does a good job of providing auto stitch, auto merge, etc. And those advanced techniques are found in Chapter 7 in your book, but I will not be demonstrating those. One thing I do want to demonstrate, however, is how you would clone between two different documents. And so we're going to open the raspberries and the raw caffeine images. I've got those open here in Photoshop. And you want to see them side by side. So I'm going to go up here to Window and I'm going to arrange two up vertical so I can see my two images right beside each other here. And so with both of my images open, what I'm going to do is select the Clone Stamp tool. And the shortcut for that is S. Now, making sure I have selected what it is I would like to clone from, I am going to hold down my Alt or Option key within the image and click where I want to begin. And now, over to the left, I select my raspberries image, and you can see I'm able to see where I'm going to be cloning. But first I need to duplicate that layer. So Command or Control J to duplicate the background layer. And now I can just begin cloning in my coffee beans. And you can see I've got a hard edge down here. That's no problem. I'll fix that in just a moment. Now I'm going to come back over here to my raw caffeine and select a different area. And then come over here and just begin cloning in with that. And I'm going to keep doing so over and over until I'm happy with my placement. And as I come over, I have to make sure that I select the image, otherwise it's not going to recognize when I am attempting to begin to clone. Select the image, Alt or Option key, click, and then come select the raspberry image and begin to clone in. And so you can see it takes some planning in order to get this done right and make it look correct. Finish up on cloning in coffee beans. You're going to want to pay attention to things like depth of field as you're doing this cloning process. Now, we can see where I've got some issues right here along the edge, and so I might go in and fill in with a few beans right here along the edge. And I'm just selecting my clone source as I'm going back and forth. And I know I'm making a huge mess with the cup and the saucer, but that's okay. I'm going to select my source image one more time, come over here and get some beans right in this area here. Alright, a few more beans on the source image to make sure I don't have any areas like this in the lower hand corner that don't seem to make sense. When cloning, it's always very important to make sure that you don't have repeated patterns. So you have to keep going back and forth to make sure that things appear as random as they should. Otherwise, if you have a lot of repeating patterns, people would tell that it's been cloned, and you don't want that. Alright, so there's before and after, just using a clone. And I'm going to now add a layer mask. Get a nice soft edge brush and paint the rim of my cup. And if it goes too far, that's fine. That's one of the beauties of masking, is you're able to come back. And so I can just switch to a white brush and come in and clean up my edge. And that's just a very similar technique to the soft brush masking that we saw earlier. The only thing is, instead of just adding the image on top, rather we cloned it. And so this side-by-side method seems to work well, so that you can see exactly what you're doing. Now when cloning, you can look at the clone source panel, and there are a lot of different options. You can select different rotations. Exactly what your clone source is can be set within the clone panel as well. I showed you how to do it just by clicking and selecting, but you can select your multiple clone sources. And you can offset your clones, adjust the opacity, adjust a few blend modes, and lock your frames as you're cloning. The book does a good job of explaining how you can go about combining vectors, and then if you're feeling especially adventurous, you could take a look on page 324 at mapping one image onto another. This is a very advanced technique that can be confusing, but can give some amazing results. And so pages 324 through 327 give detailed instructions on how you could, say, apply tree moss to someone's skin, or make someone's face appear as if it had a basketball texture to it, etc. And that concludes our chapter 7. Make sure that all of the files you're turning in are PSD files in your chapter 7 folder, and you're going to combine chapters 6 and 7 into one zipped file and upload that file